Hey guys, All in Crypto here and welcome back ladies and gentlemen for another YouTube video. Hope everybody is having a fantastic week so far. It is scorching hot here in the UK. Today guys, we're going to be covering a number of topics. We're of course going to be looking at Cardano. We're going to be looking at Bitcoin relative to Cardano, and it's very apparent that Cardano ADA is so heavily correlated to Bitcoin right now, especially in these kind of periods of low volatility across the cryptocurrency market. We're going to be looking at a number of things. We're going to hear from Charles, a quick update. Some of you may be wondering, look, when are we actually going to get smart contracts? He really puts it to bed in this short clip. It's about a minute long. I'll play for you towards the end of the video. We're going to be going, and we brought this up yesterday very, very briefly, and this is the Cardano ecosystem, or some of it. One thing I want to point out straight off the bat, guys, is I don't know how many of you are used to using the DeFi sector or perhaps have minted NFTs or done anything that is built on top of Ethereum. Essentially, you need Ethereum to actually make these protocols work. So you need to pay a gas fee in order perhaps to provide liquidity to a DEX or to just swap ERC20 tokens from one place to another. The same thing is going to occur for Cardano, and when people look at this, they go, "Oh, great!" So obviously, people are interested in the project, but it's not just that. People are using Cardano. These projects will all, except for a few minor, maybe World Mobile might be one, are all using, and obviously the research and education, although I'm sure they'll be sort of testing it out in some firm, will all be using Cardano. That will be the underlying asset. ADA will be the underlying asset that will allow all of these, or the vast majority, to function, to run, and they will be used on a day-to-day basis. This is going to absolutely skyrocket the demand, guys, and this isn't all of the Cardano ecosystem. Remember, this is what we have yet. Smart contracts aren't even out yet, guys, so it's a bright, bright future. A breakout is coming. It's not a matter of if, it's more of a matter of when. Yesterday, we did look pretty prominent, guys. Let's jump straight into the charts. Very quickly before I start, and leave a comment down below, guys. How many of you guys watched the B word? Because I've got to admit, the way that this sort of conference, and it definitely did have a positive effect on the price, the way that this conference was kind of set out was that it was this huge, once a year amazing event. I found it so boring. There was a couple of pearls of wisdom in there. Actually, one from Elon, although I don't like to admit it, as I'm not his biggest fan due to his kind of recent involvement in the crypto space. I don't like the fact that he pumps Dogecoin, etc., etc., but each to their own. I found it very boring. I also found that everybody in that conference, other than the guy who was kind of leading it, was kind of looking around the room, trying to keep themselves occupied. So it didn't live up to the hype for me. Let me know what you guys thought in the comments. Let's get straight back to the chart. So yesterday, guys, we updated you and we said, look, Cardano is looking like it's going to break out. You had a strong buy here. Ultimately, you came up and this descending resistance acted as exactly that, a descending resistance. So you didn't actually break out. We need to see a candle body close. Today, you do look like you are sort of having another go at it, although you can see you do keep kind of getting rejected from it. We don't want to see that, because if we continue to see that, you could roll over again and just prolong the breakout that we're all kind of waiting for. Ultimately, the breakout for Cardano is largely dependent on Bitcoin, and Bitcoin is doing much and such the same thing, or I should say Cardano is doing much and such the same thing as Bitcoin is the leader of value in this space. You can see that Bitcoin is also in a falling wedge. It's coming very, very close to testing it. But guys, we really need to see, and let me just check Bitcoin on the 4-hourly. Bitcoin's actually above its CMA on the 4-hourly, which is a good thing, but it needs to stay above it. There's plenty of times where we've popped above it. You not only need to stay above the 20 EMA on all time frames, we're above it on the 4-hourly. We need to get above it on the daily and then the weekly, etc., etc. But you need to get out of this rising wedge, and you need to break it with some significant momentum, because if you look at the volume across the board, guys, and I'll just make this a little bit brighter for you. I should have done this before I started the video. It's pretty pathetic, the volume right now, guys. I mean, it's just not there. I mean, yes, today's looking extremely low. Yesterday was low. It's picking up a little bit from last week, but we need a lot more volume than we currently have. I thought that the B word might bring some in. Cardano is much in such the same story, guys. I mean, you're not going to break out with that kind of a volume, no matter how low the markets are at the moment, which means the price can be more easily moved in one direction. The volume isn't showing up on exchanges. However, go over to Willy Woo's channel and he'll quite clearly show you, based on on-chain metrics, mainly using Glassnode, that there is more volume on the actual network than is showing up on exchanges. So that suggests perhaps over-the-counter buying. which is typically done by institutions, pretty much all institutions, family offices, exchanges, etc., etc. So today we'll see what it brings, guys. Ultimately, we need to break this descending resistance. We need to get above the EMA on the daily. Let's just quickly check the 4 hourly. We're above it on the 4 hourly, but we need to get and stay above it. We could come back, retest it, and bounce off it, and this could be the catalyst that sends us out of this descending resistance. You also, because of how long we've kind of consolidated and capitulated around this kind of area, guys, there are a lot of levels of resistance ahead of us. So we need to see either a confirmed breakout or we need to kind of step our way out, sort of walk our way out. And ultimately, you are in the summer doldrums right now, guys. Markets typically go a bit low volume across the board, not just the crypto space. The reason being is because people want to be out enjoying the sunshine. There's only saddos like me that want to sit in front of charts when the weather is beautiful like this outside. And summer people do things, you know, there's a kind of saying out there in the market, sell in May and come back in St. Leger's Day. Typically come back after the summer and kind of resume trading. So ultimately, guys, we're waiting for that breakout. We know it's coming. You know, we've still got this plan in play, which is our Elliott Wave theory mapped out on a bit of a macro scale for Cardano. We're just waiting for that 5th wave to commence, which is ultimately going to be led by this 4th wave closing. We've said on a number of occasions, and we looked at it on a smaller time frame. You know, this was your 2 wave. So this was your 1 wave leading up to it. And this was your 2 wave. Looking very, you also broke out of a kind of descending wedge, and you did it in a similar manner to what perhaps we're about to see very, very shortly. So ultimately, guys, you know, even the EMA here on the weekly is acting very similar. You pop below it, you get bought back up. You can see this wick has been eaten up. And what we want to do, guys, is we want to grind along it, come back up it, grind along it before both the EMA and the price continue on an upwards direction along sort of to plan with our Elliott Wave theory. That's all we're waiting for, guys. You know, the RSI is looking brilliant. You can see here, this was the bottom of your 2 wave. You are now in the bottom of your 4th wave. I do believe the stock RSI is looking great. You did have a bit of a rejection. The stock RSI, and look, you are right down to these levels now, guys. The stock RSI, you need to basically form that bullish cross, which is where the orange line goes below the blue line. We did not see that yet. It came very, very close here, but it is right around the corner. Like I say, a breakout for Cardano, guys, is not if, but when. You just need to hang in there. I am quite happy with either probability here. I am more than happy for the price of Cardano to get rejected here, because ultimately the short term, the kind of trying to predict it, you're really just based on probability, but long term Cardano is only going one way, guys, and that is up. This is an emerging technology that is largely going to affect the world once it has been allowed to play out, once it's been completed. We're not even completed yet. We're already seeing some of the builders coming on board. If it, let's say, for example, it keeps rejecting off here and rolls over once more, it's just more time for me to accumulate, guys. If it goes up, hey ho, you know, I'll just have to get more at a higher price. But that's essentially what I'm in with Cardano and a number of other cryptos, guys, an accumulation game, which I've been in for a while. The market right now is at $1.29 trillion. So a bit of a recovery across the board, but the volume is just so low, guys. And I mean, this was a real disappointment to me. The B word, I found it very disappointing. We're going to make a video, like I say, later about one thing that Elon Musk, even though I don't like to give him credit, said that really summed up why you should be in crypto. And he was talking about negative interest rates in Europe. This is why cryptocurrencies are so appealing. What I want to quickly do now, guys, is play this clip, and then we're going to wrap up the video. So just quickly to summarize, guys, you did get rejected from this descending resistance. You're not above your EMA yet. We wanted to see a bit more of a prominent breakout. We didn't get it. Looks like you're coming up and hitting your head on it again, this descending resistance in this falling wedge. We'll see how this plays out, ladies and gentlemen. But even if it does roll over, we don't expect any kind of a significant sell-off at all. It will just be a short kind of rollover before bounce and possibly setting us up for the breakout. Like I say, this is in accordance with Bitcoin. But right now, guys, you know, you could see the market sort of flip. This is crypto. It can happen in a split second. And, you know, you could see a bit of a build from here. You could come up above this, come back to test it, come up above this EMA, come back to test it before then continuing. And like I say, you got a number of resistance levels you've got to smash through. Let's listen to this clip. This is going to sum up where we are in terms of a project, guys. You know, we're right around the corner. And with this release of Alonzo mainnet and the Gogan era completion, all of these are going to come into effect, and actually the demand for Cardano is going to skyrocket, as you are going to need the underlying asset ADA to operate many of these infrastructures, or many of these apps, these dApps. So let's play the clip, guys, and then let's wrap this video up.
We take an additional 4 to 6 weeks to finish the PAB integration with the wallet backend, and that's where you have an end-to-end system for full smart contract development. So you have a beautiful development experience at that point. So if you do the math, it looks like September is the month for that. But that doesn't actually hold back, as I said, the hard fork event. So optimistically, I think August still looks pretty good. Pessimistically, September looks pretty good. But the velocity hasn't changed, and we haven't encumbered any significant delays. There were some in the beginning integration delays. Originally, we thought it'd take about 4 weeks to do the wallet backend integration with Node. But as with all things, we discovered that there are some rough edges, and a lot of additional work had to be done. So that 4 weeks got upgraded to 8 weeks. So instead of the early July, end of July. And then there were a few issues with DB Sync and a few issues with surrounding infrastructure, but that's been resolved. And those pieces are turning on and testing well and so forth. We have a lot of experience with this infrastructure and software now, and the software code quality is quite good. And there's fairly low technical debt in most places. And we have a pretty good idea of how long it takes to do something. So all things considered, I'm pretty happy with it. Of course, I would have liked all of this done in March, or January or whatever. But it is what it is. This is the nature of software. And August, September is looking pretty solid.
We'll leave it there, guys. Ultimately, very, very excited with what's coming. We're still on for August, September. And like I say, this is just going to amplify the demand for Cardano and really could be a catalyst for the volume. I'm excited to jump into some of the projects coming out of it. This was all in crypto. That's all I have for you today, ladies and gentlemen. Just a quick update on Cardano. We're going to try and keep these videos daily, short and sweet, packing a punch, letting you know where we're at, but we're still very excited. And whether we continue and we see the breakout today, or whether it's a bit more, next week, or a couple of days from now, we're happy with either scenario, guys. And that's because we believe in the project. We believe in what is to come for the project. That is all I have for you guys. I'm going to love and leave you on this on that note. Let me know what you thought about the B word. Did you find it boring like myself, or did you find it enjoyable? Because we're all different. Maybe Anyway, all I have for you in this video, guys. I'm going to love and leave you on that note. I hope you've enjoyed the content, and I'll see you all in the next one, guys.